Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
I don't know if you recognize that face or not, but we've had her on the show, and Charis Brown is right there, socially isolated in that beautiful, beautiful room there. What is that?
Yeah.
Hey, your office all the time or just now?
This is actually our dining room. So
Oh,
Wow. I love that picture back there. Is that like lavender fields or what is that?
yeah, I saw it on Amazon. I didn't take this picture and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like, if I could imagine what heaven would be like, that kind of looks like a piece of heaven. So I'm going to
Yeah.
have that in my dining room. That looks awesome.
I love it. I love it.
now let me ask you this. I'm assuming that Justin is there at the house as well. Is he socially isolated?
He is not. He is at work right now.
Really?
Yeah, they have a small office. So the boss wants him to go in. And so that's what they're doing. So he's working from there.
Otherwise, he would be bringing you your lunch and giving you foot massages and all those things.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. But he actually gets to see people. What is that like? Seeing people. I bet that's fun.
Now, how long have you of course work for Clark Howard, Clark Deals, what is it, clarkdeals.com, that you're the managing editor there. How long have you been at home working?
Gosh, I believe it's been 3 weeks now. When all the news started hitting, we were pretty quick to send people home. We already work somewhat remotely, but they just made the call. Hey, there's no reason to add the extra risk. Let's have everyone work from home. We're set up to work from home anyway, so why not? So yeah, it was a few weeks ago.
That is awesome. Well, thanks for giving us your time. I know you're a busy young lady. We wanted to catch up with you. Now, we had talked to you a number of months ago about your book that's been out, and it's Alternative Money Choices, and it basically talks about how you and Justin, you're so far in debt that the average person would just pull their hair out, but you guys did some sensible things, and you're on the other side of it. Now, I wanted to talk to you about finances because of the whole pandemic, job loss, economic panic and fear. A lot of folks are just thinking, yeah, I can't wait to get through this, but what am I going to do now financially? Everything seems to be awash. Where can we start with this? Where do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, thinking about the book and thinking about just the idea of, okay, well, let's kind of be careful with what we're spending money on. Of course, you want to spend money on your essentials, your toilet paper, whatever you really need. But aside from that, large purchases like cars, really probably should put them on the back burner just because we're in such a tumultuous time, and you just kind of want to watch what's going on. It's such a careful balance because you want to be wise, but you don't want to act in fear either. So it's that balance between faith and wisdom. We're believing for the best, but also we're preparing for just the uncertainty. We're kind of it's going to be a bumpy road, and so we got to fasten our seatbelts. And so I know there's a lot of people that are just really going through it. A lot of people have lost their jobs throughout this process. And so, that's where I think this kind of turns us to a point of like really looking at our faith and saying, okay, is my faith in money? Is it in the government, or is it in God? Because at the end of the day, it's important to manage our money wisely, but also we really need to look to God to be our source of provision through this time, because He's the one that's going to get us through this. And, that's our firm foundation. So I kind of want to encourage people with that yes, we should make wise choices. And then also we have this backbone of faith that we're leaning back against, because that is what is going to get us through.
Yeah. It's interesting that you mentioned the big purchases, because right now there might be a tendency to go, interest rates are zero and all these car manufacturers are offering 0% interest and we can redo the mortgage, which might be actually a good idea. But talk about that, because there is that that carrot out there of like, this would be a good time.
Yeah. So there might be a case where, if your interest rate is really high on your house, it might be good to refinance and take a look at that. But really look at the math and see if it's really going to make sense. Someone with an interest rate of 5%, it might benefit them greatly. But there are fees involved with refinancing. So you really just kind of have to look at it for your situation and figure out if that makes sense for you. As far as, us with and Clark Deals and me with my job, we're really focusing on items that we feel like people are going to need during this time, whether it's food delivery, household essentials. We're trying to think about things that will really be helpful for people,
Hmm.
because the last thing you want to do is encourage people to get into a cycle of debt. And so we're really looking out for those kinds of things for folks during this time, and also things to help people get through this, like, maybe a candle might be, add a little brightness to your day or something. So that's kind of where we've really pivoted, and just kind of thinking about how can we serve people during this time, and
Hmm.
what's going to make your money work for you.
Now, have y'all on Clark's Deals been able to find toilet paper? And if so, where? We got to know. I've
It
got to
is
find it.
so hard to find toilet paper. I'll like go to the store. I tell you what, the best time, probably one of the best times to go to the store, is early Sunday morning before you hit your online service, because they're, stocked up. They've gotten the trucks in overnight. So, oh my gosh, my poor friend, she's got 3 kids, and she was out of toilet paper for like 3 weeks. And I was
Oh,
what did you do without toilet paper? Like, what were you doing? Like, she's like, I mean, napkins, like whatever we had. And I'm like, I'm going to bring you some toilet paper. So if you had extra, that's a great time to like help out other people that,
yeah.
didn't weren't able to get to the store. So I feel like this is a really great time to help other people. And so she finally did get some toilet paper, thank goodness. And they were so excited. Like, she puts this picture of her with her kids, like, we have toilet paper, so
I got a pile of leaves in my backyard if that'll help too. So you can use that.
I don't know how she did it.
We were actually stocked up, and I went to Kroger, I think, last week, and Donna said, "Go get some toilet paper. I got something that I want to do in the neighborhood." And I said, "Roll the neighborhood?" No, she said, "No." And so I did actually find some on the
Wow.
shelf, which I was very surprised. So I took it home. She had this idea of meeting all of our neighbors and putting a roll of toilet paper in a gift bag, and just putting a little card in there saying, "We love you. If you need anything, we're here." And our church streams and give the, the Facebook URL or whatever. And I thought, well, that was genius.
Hmm.
And so, yeah,
That is awesome.
yeah, that is really awesome. We're talking with Charis Brown, and she is an author. Now, Charis, if I remember right, when you were in the studio, you talked about either you were going to release a devotional or you had already released one with your dad, was it?
Oh yeah, yeah. So this was several years ago, but it's available free at prismministries.org. That's PRISM versus N, so like the rainbow. Prismministries.org. So it goes out free every day. You can subscribe. It's all there. So I actually have a little top 10 um, article that I put up this morning, just about things that you can do while you're in quarantine, to build your faith, and to be kind of, because we're kind of like, what do we do with ourselves, those of us who are home. And so, anyway, that list is there too, if you want to go to prisonministries.org.
Awesome. Well, the reason why I ask you that, and we did want to know that so the folks can get there, but we do want to touch on spiritually, getting through this and on the other side. I'm wondering if you are journaling, even as we speak through this thing, to have something that folks can, grab afterward to make through the aftermath, because there's going to be an aftermath, both financially and spiritually. Are you thinking about that at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of people are journaling through this time. It's really unusual. And, I just really feel we started an online Bible study. And so we've kind of made some changes, just because we've had to, we're home now all the time. It's like, okay, how do we transition? How do we still build our faith? How do we still connect with people online? I
Mm.
mean, I know ministry that is focused primarily online. They have online chats, and they've been, using volunteers, and volunteers chat with people. They had 500 salvations in one day.
Mm.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's called Jesus Cares. And so I just feel like this time is just like a divine reset, like, and I really feel right now that it's important. And this is, obviously I'm speaking on behalf of myself and nothing related to my job, but I really feel that it's important to pray right now. I really feel
Hmm.
that strongly, that there could be a solution just around the corner. And it's like, if we all get together with our little mustard seeds of faith and we move this mountain together, who knows what could happen. And so I just feel like it's a real big call to prayer for the body of Christ right now, to pray. And, I just realized that, we're supposed to wash our hands 20 minutes or 20 seconds, not 20 minutes. A long time to wash hands. 20 seconds. But we don't realize kind of how long that is. But if you say the Lord's Prayer, it's actually around 20 seconds long. So you can be sitting there washing your hands, saying the Lord's Prayer as he told us to pray.
Awesome.
And, I just feel like all of us together can move the needle. And there might be a solution just around the corner, and it's Passover right now. I think all the timing of this is really unusual. So I'm excited to see what the Lord's going to do.
I love what you said about everybody bringing their little mustard seed of faith and praying together. I've never heard that before. That's just amazing. Yeah.
It makes for a big pot of mustard when you put all the mustard seeds together.
Right. Turning seeds into mustard. Lemonade.
All right.
Charis Brown, and you can check out her stuff. Charis, give us a website that folks can follow, of course, on Facebook, and read the devotional that you have, the letter that you talked about, or the document that you just released, the blog, and just all the stuff to follow you.
Sure. So the money book is altmoneychoices.com. That's just general, how do you kind of rein in your money during this time? And then also the free devotional is at prismministries.org. PRISM, and the blog that I posted is there right now. Just 10 things that you can do during quarantine, as we're kind of in this unusual situation that we find ourselves in. Just a call to prayer, a call to worship, a call to hear God's voice during this time. I believe that's really important.
And check out all the deals at clarksdeals.com, is it?
Clarksdeals.com.
All right.
All right. Hey, we got to take a break. Thanks, Charis. We appreciate you. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.